recent revelation by the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living that is sending shockwaves through Malaysia's automotive industry. Authorities have uncovered an illegal syndicate that has been reusing genuine engine oil bottles, refilling them with fake or substandard oil and selling them as original products. This operation not only threatens vehicle safety but also undermines consumer trust in reputable brands. According to the ministry, these syndicates collect discarded or used branded oil containers, refill them with counterfeit oil and resell them under the guise of genuine products. Investigations are underway and enforcement actions are being taken across several locations.
So, good evening. I'm NURULAIN reporting from Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, where an unexpected structural collapse occurred shocked the public this morning. Approximately around 8:45 a.m., a portion of an old building located Jalan Pantai suddenly collapsed, damaging 5 parked cars as well as 3 motorcycles. Fortunately, there is no injury occurred in this case. According to the eyewitnesses, the building facade gave way without pushing the vehicles underneath, and the fire and the rescue department swiftly cordoning off the area to prevent further danger. An investigation is now underway to determine the cause of the collapse, which is believed to be due to the poor maintenance of the aging structure. The building facade gave way without pushing.
Don't you think that there is any conversion? Nah, I don't think so. Maybe it's more to trespass to good. No, it's conversion. Guys, under Malaysian tort law, conversion is defined as an intentional act that deprives another of their property without lawful justification. While typically applied to movable property that is wrongfully taken or retained, courts have extended the doctrine to conclude destructions or substantial interference, especially when negligence causes permanent loss of use or control, as seen in this case. Under tort law, specifically the tort of conversion, the wrongful and intentional interference with another person's movable property, such as cars and motorcycles, can give rise to liability. While conversion typically involves intentional acts, negligence act resulting in the deprivations of someone's property may also amount to conversion if the interference is substantial and lawful without lawful justification. In this case, if the building owner or occupier is found to have neglected maintenance duties and such neglected caused the collapse that damaged private vehicles, the owners of the damaged vehicles may have caused the actions for conversions. This is because the collapse effectively deprived owners of the use and possessions of their vehicles.
Alia owns this laptop. She has the right to immediate possession.
Bella intentionally takes the laptop, knowing the laptop not her.
This is direct interference, treating someone else's property as your own. That's conversion. It is not borrowing, it is wrongful interference. Know your rights, respect others' property.
Kian Hock owns this spray pump. It's not under any loan, it's his.
A finance company agent comes to repossess a spray pump from JL Technic, but instead takes Thai's spray pump, wrongly assuming it's the one under hire purchase agreement.
Even after Tai shows proof that the pump belongs to him, the agent refuses to return it.
This is more than just a mistake. It is conversion, taking someone's goods without legal right and refusing to return them is a wrongful interference with property.
The defendant is liable for conversion. The plaintiff ownership was clear. The wrongful repossession has occurred. Damages are to be awarded.
KFH Leasing had leased 11 industrial machines to a client, Hisafuji, but now the client defaulted. The machines sitting inside a warehouse rented from Perda.
We gave them chance after chance, but Hexafuji is in pain. Our contract is clear. We own those machines until the lease is complete. Get Perda on the line. We need to retrieve our assets immediately.
Meanwhile, Perda had its own problem. Hisafuji hadn't paid rent either. The premises had been sealed off. Another default. We repossessed the unit, but now KFH want to go in. Machines or not, that's our premises now. Let them wait. We will discuss with our board meeting.
Encik Rahman, these are our machines. We need access. I've already sent 3 letters to your office, but they won't respond.
Sorry Tuan, I just followed the order, so no clearance. Time passed. Letters were sent. Solicitor got involved. Eventually, KFH was allowed inside, not to take the machines, but only to take them.
These are ours. Perda knows this. We have 11 in total. We have serial numbers, lease documents, everything. Let's hope they do the right thing.
All machines in that warehouse ready for auction this Friday. Even the ones KFH claim, they didn't file an interpreted summons, so legally we are covered. So be it, proceed. Okay.
Mr. Ali,
Yes.
urgent from Perda, auction notice.
Auction? In 4 days? No way. We told them those machines are ours. Get legal on the line now. We need to stop this.
Stop this. We have sent a notice of claim. We can't say what we earn.
It's out of our hands. No court order, no postponement. And just like that, the machine were gone. Auction for 160,000 ringgit. Machine worth almost 60,000 sold against the true owner's will.
This court has heard the fact the plaintiff, a licensed leasing company, had entered into lawful lease agreement with Hexafuji, and the machines in question remained the property of the plaintiff throughout the lease period. This fact is undisputed. Despite several notices, documents, and a clear claim from ownership by the plaintiff, the defendant proceeded to interfere with those goods by denying the access, then retaining the possession, and finally permitting the auction of the machines, even after being placed on notice. Let this serve as a reminder. Possession and ownership must be respected. If a party knows or ought reasonably to know the good is belong to another, the law will not allow them to treat it as their own. Court is adjourned.
Conversion Erosion occurs when a person intentionally deals with a good in a manner inconsistent with the rights of the person entitled to possession of those goods. It is immaterial whether the defendant believes they have a right to do so. What matters is the wrongful act itself. In this case, the defendant knowingly allowed the oceans of goods, which is machinery, claimed by the plaintiff despite having a sufficient notice to the goods may not belong to the party at default, Fuji, and failed to take reasonable steps to ascertain the ownership or to delay the ocean pending legal clarification. This amounted to conversion. This also can be seen in the case of Tivoli Industry and Asian Poly-Industrial Neighborhood, whereby in this case the plaintiff had sent molds, which is tool used for manufacturing plastic parts, to the defendant for a specific manufacturing project. So the business relationship later broke down, but Asia Poly refused to return the molds and even used them to produce goods to the third parties, despite Tivoli's repeated demands for the mold to be returned. And then, therefore, a person who deals with the goods in manner inconsistent with the owner's right and without lawful justifications, commits the thought of conversion.
Assalamualaikum everyone and welcome to Tanyalah Ustazah. Today we are tackling a question that people often overlook. What happens when someone takes or sells property that doesn't belong to them? In civil law it is called conversion, but in Islam it is far more serious. Hence we are inviting two honorable guests today, which is Dr. Nabila and Ustazah Aisha, to share their opinion with us.
Yes, Sazana, I agree with that. Islam doesn't just look at the legal aspect, but it looks at the heart, the niyah, the intention. Because when someone else property was taken by other person, and whether you sell it or block access to it, or maybe taking it without the permission of the true ownership, and it considered as zulum or injustice.
Alright, thank you for our moderator and also Ustazah. So, it's also mentioned in the court. So, but it called as conversion. And let me give you some clear example, which is that say someone send their cars to workshop to repair their engine or gearbox and so on. But suddenly, when the repairs drag on, the workshop eventually shuts down. And the landlord of that property steps in and he sees the car sitting there and assumed the car is abandoned and decided to sell it to recover unpaid rent from the workshop owner. So in Islam, it is not in Islam. It is a sin, but I think that in civil law, it's just a civil wrong. Subhanallah, it reminds me of a hadith whereby whoever seizes even a handful of land unlawfully, he will be swallowed by the earth to the depth of 7 layers, according to a hadith from Sahih Bukhari.
During the Ottoman Empire, there is a provision for that Ottoman codification of Hanafi law, which called as Majallah al-Ahkam. There is a provision that clearly states whoever directly destroys or appropriates of another property will be liable for the loss. Islam just doesn't look at the legal aspect only, but it always upheld the sanctity or of ownership or trust.
Dear viewers, whether it is someone's lands, goods, or even a parking space, if it is not yours, don't ever touch it. Because in Islam, respecting another's property is part of our iman, which is faith. Thank you.